So most conversations that we have start here about the data, and it exposes a lot of the challenges that businesses have. 24% of finance and operations team do manual reporting. That's 1 day a week your team is compiling numbers instead of analyzing them. Then about 5 days per month are lost waiting for reports to be reconciled. So that's another week every month gone. And then, unfortunately, 40% of those manual reports contain at least one significant error. So you're usually then start arguing about what's actually there. Now, if you want to try to solve this problem by pulling together an enterprise level data team, that can be on the conservative end, at least $800,000, because you have a lot of different skill sets that can be quite expensive. Now, I want to be clear, this is not just a technology problem. This is a growth problem. Every one of these numbers is, decision being made on bad data or stale data or no data. Paul, in your conversations, maybe you can zoom out a bit for us and give us a take on the macro trends. When you don't have information on some of your data, when you're struggling, what can sometimes show up and sometimes be a problem? What makes this year different?
So the innovators love instinct, and instinct has changed the world consistently in very different ways. Instinct is not a great way to run a railroad. If you know that you need to produce a profit result or revenue target or whatever it may be, instinct is not really the way to do it. Instinct is great for increments and new lines of business or strategic opportunities. But when you're running a railroad, you need to have confidence in the numbers and what's actually happening. You need to understand not just your speed, not just your fluids, not just your tires. You need to understand the speed limit changed or whatever external factor has come into play. And so these mechanical things that we're discussing are expensive to get a full-time, enterprise data team, but it's the operational activity of the organization, and finance has that responsibility to make sure the railroad is running effectively.
But I think also what we've talked about too is what this exposes is not just the errors, but the time it takes. And so in today's macro environment where things are shifting constantly, depending on what industry you may be in, if you're subject to tariffs or something like that, these data delays can be really costly.